Yes, good morning, everyone. I, Miss Amrapali Dumre, Counselor of City Pride School, welcome Madhura ma'am and Namrata ma'am for this session and all the parents and students who are attending this session. Basically, I will just introduce you why we wanted to start this program. So this program was initiated that right now the career options are open wide enough. So we just thought that we will have lot of interactions and webinars to our students and parents to make aware of different career options which are open, which we are really not into. Like, we also feel that we don't know many of the things. So recently when I attended one session, I just got to know that okay, there are so many things and we are really into landing up into that. Okay, we are not knowing so many things. So we have an experts today, and we will be having webinars on different like career specialization every month. So every month we will be having the webinars on different career options open for grade 9 to 12. So this initiative, we just thought that this is a right way after the pandemic to make the awareness or create the awareness among the youngsters of our own school and college. So on this note, I request Veena Miss to introduce the speakers for today. Over to you, Veena Miss.
Thanks a lot, Amrapali Miss. Good morning, everyone. And first I'll introduce myself because the known when I have known speakers, I'm very much happy to introduce them. Okay, so I'm Veena Miss for the people who are unaware of me because they are 11th and 12th students also over here. So I'm the soft skill teacher and facilitator of City Pride School since 7 years. And I'm aware this webinar is so important for some students because they were waiting for long to have such sessions. Maybe it is almost 2 years to have an overseas education webinar was a little challenging during the pandemic also. So it is great to have you both. In fact, um, first I would like to introduce Mrs. Madhura Kale. If I have to talk about her, she's known for being a life coach to many students, and also she's a career counselor. And she has her own firm where she guides and trains the students for abroad education. To talk about her education, she has completed her master's from University of Glasgow, Scotland. She came back to India again to live her passion, where she wanted to share more of her skills with the students and generate ideas within the students there. So glad to have you, Madhura ma'am, here.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, yes. And we have Mrs. Namrata ma'am. She's also a trainer and a career counselor. And she's also known to train many students for the competitive exams, and that is for SAT, GRE, and she also, helps the students to pursue their overseas education. So both of them we have today on our panel where they are going to talk a lot about and answer to your questions also, how to get through overseas education, or whatever questions you people have, you can just put it ahead. Maybe they will be the best people to answer today to your all your questions there.
Thank you.
Yes. Yes, welcome both of you, and maybe we'll start or we need to wait, Amrapali Miss?
Miss, we can start. They will join as and when we cannot delay the thing.
Yes, maybe we can start because when there are students who are still joining in, we can admit them, but we will start off so that we finish on time.
Yes.
Yes. Let's do that. All right. Shall I begin?
Yes.
Shall I share the slides for you, or you're going
No,
to share?
I'll do that. I'll do that. I'll do that. Okay. I hope this is visible to all of you.
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Perfect. Great. So, good morning to all of you. This is such a pleasure to be on this platform. And as Amrampali ma'am said, that this is just the beginning of these kind of sessions for you. So I think I'm really happy to be a part of it in the initial stage. Thank you to all you teachers. And it's great. It is always a pleasure to interact with students, especially students in your age group, because I think you're the most enthusiastic, ambitious, and optimistic lot. So I'm really excited to talk with you all today. So before we begin, I'm going to do a small activity. Okay. Um, I'm going to give you a word, and I would like you to think of three things that come to your mind when you listen to this word. Okay. So all I want you to do is, uh, sorry. So all I want you all to do is, I'm going to give you a word, and I want you to write down three words that come to your mind when you see it. Okay. Um, are they able to type, ma'am, in the chat? Is that ability available? Okay. So you all can put up, yeah, you can put up these three words in the chat. Okay. So what do you think of when I say future? Okay. Take 15 seconds. Don't think. Just write down the three words that come to your mind when I say future. Quick responses. Okay. Chinmay says goal, peace, and purpose. Okay. That's great. Chinmay Petkar. Good. He's the first one. So he's really not thought it through. He's just like, okay, this is what comes to my mind. Because remember, that's always the true things that we want in life. Oh, peace, love, and happiness. Okay. We have a lot of peace loving people. That's good to know. Okay. Good, Sakshi. Yes. Come on, quickly. Don't think. Just type.
Sorry.
Success, dream, happiness. Okay. Okay. Afra. Nice. More answers? Future. I think of future and what do I get? Happiness, goal, and money. Okay, right. Shravani, good.
They all are very clear with what future they
With
are
what you
looking
want. Yeah, yeah,
for.
yeah. That's the best part about the City Pride students, right? They have a lot of clarity, and you all are always there to clarify if they don't know something about it. Hmm. I think in 11th, 12th standard, I think even that is what I wanted. I wanted a holiday and I wanted my friends perhaps. And yeah, that was future. Oh, entrepreneur, sustainable business. Okay, wow, Shambhavi, nice. Money, work-life balance. Oh my God, wow. Okay, great. Excellent. Chalo people, quickly. So a lot of people, I'm sure you all are still writing. I'm going to give another minute because then we'll move on. So quickly write down your answers. I have 48 people here.
54.
50, 60 now. Okay, so I
Oh,
have
yeah.
60 people now. Kids, please do answer.
Maybe you can put your question back again. The people who have
Yeah,
joined now,
yeah,
maybe
yeah.
they also can have a quick response there.
Okay, so I've asked you that what three things come to your mind when you think about future? Okay, your future. So if you could write in the chat three words that come to your mind when you think of future, that'll be great. Work-life balance is what
Success,
she's
present
thinking.
knowledge. Ma'am, your voice is not audible. Hello, ma'am.
Are you able to hear me now?
Yes.
So, all right. So people are coming up with answers. Now, why did I do this? Okay. So whenever we talk about future, we are talking about success. We are talking about money. We are talking about career. We are talking about balance, happiness, peace. And you're right. You're very right that while we are working, I think now we've realized that we have our profession, we have money, we have success. Very good, Avni. When we are looking for all of this, we are looking for a balance, right? And I think for that, choosing the right career and choosing the right path, getting the right education, excellent education, job, and money. Exactly what I want to say, right? In exactly this order. So if you want to be successful, you want that you are happy, that you have a lot of peace in life, you want to make sure that you get the right kind of education so that you can have your dream job and then you have your work-life balance and you're happy and successful and you have a lot of money. So I know that since you are all CPS students, I'm sure that you all must be doing this, but I'm just gonna do this again. So this was our activity. Do you all know about SWOT analysis?
I want students to raise their hands when you know something and when the speaker is trying to interact with you all. I want you all to just raise your hand and talk about, yes.
Yes, okay. Actually, you know what? Before I begin, let me just say something. Let's just set up a few ground rules. This is an interaction, so this is not a teaching class. So I want you all to interact, put up your questions, your whatever you want to say in the chat so that we can interact. And I would like to know what is the secondary preferable language other than English, Marathi or Hindi? Which is a better language? Hindi? Marathi?
Marathi.
Marathi.
English and Marathi maybe.
Marathi? Great. So that once in a while, if we want to change to something, we can do that. Okay? All right, great. So, yeah. Okay, so, okay, someone is saying Hindi, but everyone understands Marathi, I hope. I'll keep switching, all right? So let's interact, okay? And whatever questions you have, at those points, I will ask you, do you have any questions? If not, I will ask you to hold your questions, maybe write them down on a paper so that I can take it towards the end of the session, all right? Most of the times, I will answer the questions on the spot, but at times it happens that we are in the flow. So we want to finish that discussion and then we want to look at questions, all right? So certain questions, of course, we can always take them ahead, but certain you can just write down all your questions or put them on the chat so that the other presenters will make sure that I receive them later or I have addressed them, okay? And we will address as many questions as possible. So I would like to finish my talk in good time and give you all time to ask questions, okay? So let us begin. So I'm sure that you all have a SWOT analysis done in 10th standard. I know you've done this in 8th and 9th. But I think now at this stage, when everyone, I'm sure you're all in that environment when everyone is talking about your career, everyone is talking about what field are you going to take, what what is going to be, what is it going to be, engineering, doctor, you want to take some arts, you want to take, what is it that you have to do, decide. This is a very crucial period. And I think it all becomes very overwhelming because you are just stepping out into the world. You've just come out of the secure world of school where there are teachers to guide you, there are teachers to tell you, oh, you're good at this, okay, do this, do that, here's the competition. But now it's time when you, like, some of you are in 9th and 10th, but next year you're going to have to do things on your own, right? So obviously you're like, okay, I have less information and I have decisions to take. So how do I do that? Because what is essential for taking the right decision? I wouldn't say there's any right decision. For taking a decision efficiently, I think it's that you need to have good enough information, right? And the first information that you need is about yourself, all right? For all the qualities that you have spoke about for the future, I think that to be happy in a profession that you are working in, it is important that you know what you are good at and you actually like what you do. Okay, so Veena ma'am told you that I came from the UK, right? Yes, I did my master's in biotechnology. Rather, it was molecular medicine. So I was doing cancer research at that time, and and I was doing research in a very good lab in the UK. So it
place to do research. But what I realized that I was good at it, but I wasn't passionate. I did not wake up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock and think, okay, what can I do in this experiment? I'm audible, right? Okay. So, I was not, I was happy, but I was not passionate. I was not enjoying what I was doing. So when I came back, I started training. I just went to the same class where I had done my GRE, and I asked them that, is there any kind of vacancy? They said, yes, we need someone to train in English, and we want also a counselor because we are starting a new place, we are starting a new branch. I said, okay, let me try. And the first class I took, okay, I was really nervous because I was teaching people who were, no, they were engineering students. So they were hardly like 2, 3 years younger than me. So I was a little bit nervous, but when I started training them, that 1 hour, I enjoyed myself thoroughly. Like I had never felt so happy doing some kind of work all my life, right? So I realized that that was my passion. Thankfully I was good at it because I loved English in school. I mean, I hope I'm good at it. And since then I've been training for the same thing, and I always enjoy it. Like you tell me at 12 o'clock, okay, listen, you have to tell up something. I'll be like, okay, I'll send you in an hour, right? So it is because I love my job. I love what I do. So it's not a job for me. It's something that I can be creative with. It is something that I can have ideas about. So it is very essential that you are aware of your skills, of your abilities, but you are equally aware of your personality, of your likes, of the kind of person you are. So the SWOT analysis that you're doing, I need that you do it on both the levels. Of course, you're looking at your academic skills. You're seeing that, oh, am I good with numbers? Am I someone who likes to do a lot of research? Like someone says, oh, this iPhone is great, then I'll go online and I'll check everything about it. So probably you are someone who likes to do a detailed research, or you are someone who's a very good organizer. You just need things in place. You make a plan. You're like, okay, this. You're good with time management, or you are someone who is good with people. You are someone who can convince your friends to go to the movie they wanted to see, right? Perhaps you're that kind of a negotiator, right? Or you are a people's person. You enjoy when you are in a group and you're organizing meetups and you're talking to each other. You connect with people. You remember, oh, iska birthday tha, iski mom ka promotion hua, things like that. So if you are that kind of a person, you are a public relations person. So look at your strengths or your weaknesses. I wouldn't call them weaknesses. I would call them areas of improvement, because hey, come on, we are learning all our life. I'm sure your teachers will agree. We all are still working on our skills, which we feel that we need to make them better to become a better person, both personally and professionally. So the first thing to start off with before making the decisions is that know yourself, know what you like and what you don't like. And it's okay, because a successful career will happen when you have the ability, but also when you will be motivated to do something new in that field all the time, because no one is going to push you. No one can push me to say, oh, come on now, go take a webinar for CPS if I don't want to, or if I can't, right? Or no one can push me into becoming better in my English as a professional. Once you're an adult, no one can do that unless I am going to be able to. So you have to choose a field where you love that subject or you love doing that for a long period of time, because that is going to be a sustainable career. So forget about the stereotypical engineer, doctor, lawyer, CA. Figure out what you are good at, what are your skills, what is it that you would like to work on. That will help you understand that which are the fields that you can go for. Okay. And of course, you have your teachers, you'll have a lot of speakers. So yes, meet people who are in different professions, understand the professions, understand the work that they do day in, day out. And because sometimes it's different from the curriculum. Studies, aap log kuch bhi kar loge, you are intelligent people, you will be able to study for an exam, score well. but figure out what it is that let's say a CA does on a day-to-day basis, that a lawyer does on a day-to-day basis, right? And a myth that I want to break off at this moment: there is nothing as there is more scope in this field and there is less scope in this field. Parents do ask me these questions that ma'am, but India में अभी ये कहाँ पे है, या abroad कौन सा scope है? Scope is for talent and scope is for passion. Okay, because we all need lawyers, we all need CAs, we all need English trainers, we all need math trainers, we all need teachers like all your beautiful teachers. You need everyone, you need an administrator, so you need a person who's a front office employee as well. So we need every profession that comes in. What matters is, or what is sustainable is, someone who is talented and someone who's motivated to keep working in that field. So figure out, parents, this scope is there throughout the world for anyone who loves their job, basically. So if you love what you do and you're good at it, you can also, or even if you're okay at it and you want to excel, you will always have the motivation to, catch that gap. For example, like I said, I have 2 master's degrees in biotechnology, but I have not done English literature, but I know how to train because I love it. And I know what I need to do in order to make sure that I'm a good English trainer. So I did my certifications, I did my learnings because I was interested in this, because I wanted to do this. Correct? So you can always fill in that gap of I'm good and I can be excellent if you really love it, because then you are motivated to go ahead with it. Okay. So I'm not going to go into the details of SWOT analysis because I remember that it is done in your school very, very regularly. But my motive behind telling you this was, how are you looking at the SWOT analysis? How are you looking at your abilities? Your strengths are also your personal skills. Your weaknesses could also be those where you feel that these personal skills need to be improved. For example, I'm not an extrovert, right? I'm someone who's not very happy talking to a group. Maybe that is something that you can work on, because let's say you love laws and you want to be a lawyer, then you have to talk with people, right? Then you can improve that life skill so that it can match your passion. All right. And of course, the threats and the opportunities will come to you as you figure out more about yourself. Okay. Now let's get to our main subject.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Your slide is
Sure.
not visible.
Yeah. Actually, because I wanted to see.
Yeah.
So
I just thought
okay.
so.
Yeah. Because the thing is that once I switch on my slide, I can't see the responses.
Okay.
That is the reason I wanted
Should I
to.
share? Should I share?
Yeah, I guess one of you, if you could do that, that will be better.
Okay, I'll share.
Yeah. Okay. The latest one you've shared with her, right? Okay, so coming back to now the stereotypical education system in India.
I have Hindi one which I'll share.
Yes. So, so let ma'am continue. I'll continue my work. So nowadays, of course, now you'll be entering into that 12th standard phase where it's all about entrance exams, right? The thing that is the literally gateway to your career is all these entrance exams that we have. So for engineering, you have IIT, JEE, mains, advanced. For medical, you have NEET, architecture, and all the other graduation courses have their own entrance exams. Even for biotech, we had our own entrance exam. And the thing about these entrance exams is, just this. So what happens is you have to study for them for a long time. I think nowadays IIT preparations begin from 8th standard. So you students, poor students, are really studying hard for 5 years to get something, right? And you have to just study those 11th, 12th standard के साल कहाँ चले जाते हैं पता भी नहीं चलता है. The time when we actually are, exploring ourselves, should be exploring ourselves. We are exploring various coaching classes and figuring out how many hours can we study so that we can get the score that we want. But it creates a lot of stress. I think I remember when I gave my CET, that time we did not have, I was not a part of all of this. It was just one CET and I'd studied for 6 months. But nowadays, of course, there's a lot of competition because there are almost 15 lakh people who apply for IIT and 15 lakh for NEET, and there are 9 lakh people who applied for JEE in 2021. And funnily enough, the number of seats available in all the IITs, NIITs, and triple ITs is something around 35,000. So we have 9 lakh people who are appearing for the exam, and there are 35,000 seats available. And it's great. It's great to have a goal, and it's great to say that, oh, I have to crack IIT. I think that's great. But my problem, next slide, please. But my thing is, you see, only 35,000 people are going to get admits, and the other, so it's almost what, 5-10% of the people who are going to get it, and the other 95% people are not going to go into IITs. Okay, it's like, हमारे यहाँ पे जैसे है ना कि you go for a, now you guys don't do that. In earlier times, people used to go to the bus stands, and there would be just one bus, 40-seater, and there would be 100 people who wanted to get on. So they would make every possible attempt to get into that bus, put their saman first, and all that. Now we don't do that, of course, but we have flights and we have cabs and we have everything. But that is the scenario where you have limited amount of resources, and we have a lot of people, of course, because of the population that we have. So you guys are spending a lot of money on tuition, okay? But for 5% people, all goes well. They get into their IITs, they get their dreams. But there are 95% people who are not getting what they want. And that's the reality, right? It's not because you're not good. It's because there are too many people in our country and you are really fighting for very, very limited number of seats, right? So today I'm going to talk about these 95% people. Because if I work for something for 6 months and I don't get it, I am extremely upset, at least for a week. So I can't imagine you students going for something for 2 years, let's say minimum, and then not getting that. Because I can't imagine the kind of disappointment that the student goes through, the parents go through, right? They feel bad. They feel that, oh, you could have worked harder. You shouldn't have wasted your time. Then, of course, people around you, those who have gone or who have been selected, great. But those who have not, people will keep asking you. Then what happens is, next, what happens is, because that was not your choice, I mean, this was your choice, that IIT was your choice, you then go to the colleges, whichever who will select you, because that was what you wanted was not available. So then you have to go for the colleges in Pune, then figure out कि MIT में मिल रहा है admission या कहाँ मिल रहा है, Indira में मिल रहा है, wherever, right? Then all the other factors come in. Sometimes you have to give donations because obviously India. Next, please. So all this happens, and the worst is the mental state of the student, because next, please, because you've really worked hard for something, and I hate that you start your career by saying that, oh, I didn't get what I wanted, maybe because I didn't work hard. That's the worst attitude that you start off your graduation and your academic life with. And I think that is not something that you should be doing. Okay. So what happens is, then of course you do your 4 years of education in one of these mediocre colleges. Then you decide that either you want to do MBA or you want to do a job, or then you decide that maybe I want to study abroad. Okay. So instead of all of this negative, I know I'm speaking a little bit on the negative side. The reason is, and this is what does happen with a lot of students. Like when we were in biotech, half of the students, no, 90% of the students were there because they did not get admission in medical colleges. And this was the other option that was available to them. And that's why they had come. Out of the remaining 10%, 5% wanted to go to microbiology, did not get the admission. And only 5% people were like, I think biotechnology is an upcoming field and I want to work in this. So you see, it is a scenario in every field, that every field people want something else, they don't get it, and then they come to these colleges saying ki jane de yaar, kar lenge, right? But what if I told you that that is not the case? What if I told you that there is a plan where you can aim for something and you can get it during the same time when you are preparing for your IIT JEE exams, okay? And it is a foolproof plan, right? I'm sure everyone must have told you that you can't just have plan A these days. You need to have plan A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. So what if I told you that there is an option where whether that option is your plan A or whether that option is your plan Z, you will get what you want when you decide to go for it. Would you be interested in keeping that as an option? Yes? You would be, right? And that option, yep. So that option is, ma'am, please, the next slide. The next one, that is studying abroad. Okay. So the no, the earlier side is fine, ma'am. So I'm going to talk to you about how going abroad is one of the best options that you can go for. Okay. While you are studying for your IITs, JEEs, I'm not going to say no to that at all, ever. But what if I told you that you have a good option? Okay. Now, let us compare. Before we get into it, you'll be like, ma'am, we are already giving 3 types of exams. So I'll tell you, I had a student, Namrata ma'am will remember, he was going for IIT preparations. He wanted to get into the army. So he was giving that entrance exam and he was studying for SAT. So he was doing these 3 exams at the same time in his 12th standard. And of course, he was also applying for the 12th standard. So he was doing all of that. Okay. So, and I remember him saying that, ma'am, SAT is my easiest. SAT is जहाँ पे मैं थक के भी बैठ जाऊंगा ना तो मैम मेरा हो जाएगा. So I have a testimony from someone your age, right? So let us look at the differences between why. So the entrance exam that you would require if you want to study in the US or the UK for your bachelor's is SAT, SAT SAT. This exam is out of 1600 marks. Okay, there are only 2 subjects that you have to study, that is maths and English. Maths you have been studying all your life. English you have again been studying all your life. The mathematics is only till whatever you have learned till 9th standard, not even the 10th standard. 10th standard, na ma'am? Namrata ma'am?
Till
Till 12th. Till 12th standard. Okay, till 12th standard, but not your what is that? Not the difficult part of it, right?
Not derivative and integration in that.
Not derivatives and integration. See, I've lost so much of touch with maths. Naam bhul gayi. Okay, so no derivative integrations. Okay, just the maths part of it. So you only have that, and you have to invest around 150 hours only in a month. Okay, so if daily you study for 1 or 2 hours, you're good to go. Okay, that kind of studies. The fees are 60,000 for any generic class. This I'm telling you the fees what select charges plus the exam cost is something 15,000. So you're not investing much, and the success rate is 100%. Yes, it is 100%. Why? Because there is no cutoff for SAT. So out of 1600, you get 1600, great. Even if you get 1150, you can still get a university in the US or the UK, and that too a university which is among the top 100 universities in the US and in the world as well. Okay, so here we were talking about IIT and JEE, which is IITs are the best colleges in India, and I agree that the education level is amazing. But I'm telling you that by giving another exam, which is 5 times less difficult than IIT, okay, you can get admission in a university which is among the top 100 universities in the world. So you see, you are going from national to international level, and you're still going to be able to follow the course or do the course of your dreams. All right. So that is what happens with these universities. And you will say, why? Like, why should I go for this? I don't know much about it. First of all, the reason that I said that even at 1150 you get an admission is because, ma'am, can I have the next slide? Because you are entering an education system which is extremely flexible. Now, there's a huge difference between the learning system in India and the learning system abroad. Okay, the reason is that their system does not believe in only looking for academic marks. Okay, this is a system, even when it is figuring out if they want to admit you into their college.
Ma'am, your voice is cracking.
Okay.
Your voice is cracking.
Now is it better?
Yes.
Okay. So we are talking about being a part of an educational system that even when they are admitting you, they are not just utilizing the criteria of your academic marks. Okay, they are looking at your academic marks, they are looking at your extracurricular and co-curricular activities, they are looking at what your teachers have to say about you. Okay, and they are looking at the SAT score that you have given. Okay, so you are entering a system where they give you the flexibility, and they judge you on the basis of your academic qualities and your characteristics as a person, as a student. So the what I was talking to you about in the beginning, that look at your personal characteristics as well as your academic skills, these universities are looking at both of these. And if they find that, oh, this person is interesting, this person has been, let's say, played judo at let's say state level, okay, interesting addition to our university, let's call him, let's give him scholarship, right? This person excellent in math, has done a lot of math stuff, comes here, scores amazing in math, okay, let's call them, let's give them more scholarship, right? So they are looking at you as a person, not just a student with X number of marks. They're looking at your characteristics, they're looking at your qualities, what value addition you can do as a student. Because the education system there actually works on Einstein's theory. Well, Einstein's not theory. I read a quote where Einstein said that don't memorize something that you can look up. So they know that all kind of theory that is there, it is available online and is available in books. They don't need you to learn them by heart and write them down on the paper. That's not the point. What they want you to do is they want you to know the concept, understand the concept, and utilize it to solve real-time problems. Most of the universities, all of the universities, I think, are connected with industries or with laboratories. Like my university in the UK was connected with hospitals. So we directly got samples from the hospital, which we could test, right, from real-time patients. So if you are into an engineering college, you are associated either with a company, with an industry, or you have high-tech labs, of course. So what they expect you to do is apply the theory that you have learned to find a solution to the problem that we are facing right now. So what they want is they want to create thinkers, they want to create researchers, they want to create problem solvers, they want to create disaster managers, because that is what they need. That is what they realize, that this is what the world needs. I don't need someone who can rectify everything and tell me that. For that, I have a computer. I've created the best computer possible. It'll tell me what I need. What I need you as a human to do is to use that data to find solutions. So you see, the entire perspective is very different. Okay, and that is why, and that is the reason why even at 1150 or 1100, you will get a university who wants you, okay, who wants to give you the course that you are looking for, and even sometimes give you scholarship so that you can add value to their university. I'll tell you more about how flexible this university is. Amrapali ma'am, could you go one more slide ahead? And one more. Yes. So why I think that the education system, especially in the US, is very interesting is because you have flexible courses. You can say that I want to do, let's say, engineering, but I also want to study some music. I also want to study history, and they're okay with that. They'll allow you to take some extra credits which are different. If you feel they can give you a major in one field, one subject, let's say it's engineering, and you can also do a minor, let's say in music, in acting, in history, in German language, in Sanskrit, if you want to. So they allow you to learn multiple things at the same time if you have the will and the motivation to study these different subjects. How flexible is that? Also, it's not that just one exam decides your career. हमारे यहाँ पे हो जाता है ना, by mistake, if you are unwell during an exam, that year is gone. You have to give that exam again. I still remember, and I'm very bitter about it, that in 4th standard, I had missed one oral exam. But because I had missed the exam, they decided that they will not give me a score. And I had stood first in the class, yeah. So it was like I had gotten more marks than the person who was first, but just because I hadn't given one oral exam, they were like, sorry, we can't give you a rank. You'll just be like, pass ho gayi. But that's not fair, right? Because I did study, I did give all the papers, and I did score more, but I did not get a rank just because I was absent. But that doesn't happen in the US because they don't put all their eggs in the same basket. That is the one final exam of 100 marks. What they do is they give you scores for attendance. They give you 5% scores for attendance. They also give you assignments on maybe a weekly or a monthly basis. And when you complete that, you also get certain points. Also, they give you scores when you participate in the class, because as you can see, the education system is extremely flexible. So they have a lot of class discussions. So it's not like the teacher is teaching you and you're listening. The teacher will teach you, but then he will open forum. He'll ask you to discuss. He'll ask you to tell what do you think are the pros, what do you think are the cons, how do you think, let's say we take centrifugation, centrifugal force. They'll say, where do you think you can apply? Now say what you have to say. So whenever you participate in these kind of class discussions, you will get marks for it. He will purposely keep quizzes, pop quiz as they call. Like they'll ask you for the question and then you have to answer. If you answer correctly, you'll get those points, and those points are added in your final marks. And some particular marks, you'll have a test where you'll have to go and write the final test. So you see, it's again everything about your personality. Like so many times it happens that one person is not good with his or her memory, right? I mean, so many times it's not that. With us, it's all about a memory test. उस दिन तुमको सब याद आना चाहिए, तो फिर तुमको अच्छे marks मिलेंगे. But here again, if you are someone who is very good with interacting, who is good with the verbal knowledge, but maybe not writing it all down, you will still get really good scores in the US and you will get good credits, right? So again, every aspect of your personality, okay, writing, sitting and thinking about something, interacting, discussing, debating, putting forth your ideas will get you a good score and will get you ahead in your coursework in the US, right? So it's not just that one exam. Next, it can also allow you to, they also allow you to transfer to other university. Let's say you feel that, no, this is not a course that, I looked for and I want to go to this other university. They do allow you with, of course, certain technicalities, but they do allow you. And the fourth and the most important thing is that you get a personalized career advisor throughout your life. Okay. So as you have your counselors over here, you have a career advisor who is there to talk to you throughout the 4 years. Okay, so initially itself, like before you even begin your course, there are 4 meetings that you have. In the first one, he just gets to know more about you. In the second one, he asks you what are your academic goals. The third one, he talks to your parents and figures out what are their expectations. Do they understand what you're looking for? And in the fourth one, he'll tell you what should be your plan for the 4 years to achieve what you need at the end of those 4 years. So you have a personalized career advisor all your life. Isn't that awesome? So you're not going to feel alone. You're not going to feel that, okay, how am I going to achieve my goal? What if I get lost or, if I lose motivation? No, there'll be a person, you take an appointment and he'll tell you about it. Ma'am, can we go to the earlier slides, please? Why US? So this is one thing, right? The one before this, okay? Of course, apart from that, you are in an international environment. When you go to an IIT or when you go to, when you go to an IIT, of course, you meet people from Delhi, Kolkata, Chennai, Assam, agreed. But when you go to an international university in the US, even if it's in Texas, California, wherever, you meet people who are from China, who are from Mexico, who are from Italy, who are from Russia, Germans, all over the world, right? So you become a global citizen. You see how these different people work, how do they study, how they interact. For example, Germans and Japanese people are extremely particular. For them, if the meeting is at 3 o'clock and it's 3:01, we are late. We are superbly late. And this is a huge mistake. That doesn't happen in India. In India, 3:10. Yes, Advaita, you have a question? If you have a question, can you put it up on the chat? Okay, so, they are, you get to learn and understand how these people are, how do they work. And the advantage is great. If you continue to stay in their country, you are of course going to know more. You will know how to interact with them. Even if you come back to India, okay, and see, I love my country. I did come back, though I'm telling you about this about study abroad, because I think both of them have their own advantages. So even if you decide to come back, you will always have global clients, but then you will know how to interact with them because you have studied with them, right? The approach they have, the perspective that they have, you will uh, you will be able to deal with that. Yes, in fact, it's great in Europe, Parag, as good as it is in the US. And I will talk about, yes, I will talk about all the countries as we go ahead. Okay, so of course, you get international exposure, you become a global citizen. Apart from that, next slide, of course, you are with the latest of technologies in your field. So I remember that the kind of work that I had done in the UK at that time, like at that time, we were looking for markers, genetic markers, which could help us detect cancer at an earlier level. So the kind of resources you have, the kind of technology that you have is amazing. Plus, you are in a different environment where it teaches you that it is okay to be different. Different is not bad. It's just the way different things work. And how can we mold ourselves? So I think you become an extremely independent, open-minded person when you have studied abroad. Okay. So now, how do we go about it? Okay, so I hope you know now what are the advantages of studying abroad, and I don't need to go on about it, right? I think we have a clear idea about that. Okay, so one more slide, ma'am, piche. Okay, so that is the just another one. To see that, one more slide back, please. So that what happens, so this is the reason that you want to be a part of the system. Okay, yeah, and of course to get the best in your dream career, right? Because yes, definitely if you have done your bachelor's, your master's, yeah, ma'am, that's fine. In a university which is top 100 universities, whether you decide to go in any other country, in the US, in Europe, of course, a degree from US is valid and of course has a value all over the world, right? And of course, in India, when you come back, so you have a red carpet treatment because you are a different person personally and professionally. You are extremely different professionally, and you will stand out when you come back to India and try to get a job over here because your attitude, the way you're going to be working, the way you're going to be thinking is going to be different from the others who have been in India, and that is going to be a huge advantage for you all your life, right? So whether you decide to come back, whether you decide to continue over there, your prospects in your career are excellent. Okay. Yes, remote studies are also possible, sir. Many colleges do. You of course they have been doing this during the COVID. But in my opinion, if you ask me, I would rather that you go ahead and at least study one course abroad because it's not just about the academic aspect of it. It is the exposure that you have to the kind of teaching that is there, to the kind of studying, to the facilities that you have. So I think that experience should not be missed. However, some of these universities do offer remote online courses as well. Their requirements are different, but it is definitely feasible. During COVID, they have done that as well. Okay, so now I told you कि क्या करना है, अब बताती हूँ कैसे करना है, right? So let's go ahead. So you right now are the ones who are in 10th standard. This is the best time. Those who are in 11th is also not a problem. Those who are in 12th, well, you have to start working now. Okay. If you want to, most of them are 10th standard, right?
From 9 to 12th. So
okay, fine. So 9th and 10th, great timing. 9th, ruko, next year se start karo after 10th. 11th, perfect time. Let's begin right away. And 12th standard, chalo abhi, you really have to, be fast enough. But you have time. So if you want to go start your bachelor's, let's say in 2013 August, right? So because we have the latest would be the 12th standard. So let's say I want to go for my bachelor's in 2023 August. then I would have to have my SAT scores by October 2022. So by this October, you need your SAT scores. Okay. A decent time for the preparation of SAT is 2 to 3 months. I have had students who have done it in 2 months. I have had students who have taken 4 to 5 months. Okay. It all depends on how much time you have and how much time you need. Ma'am, next slide, please. So you would require to prepare for the test, take trainings. Again, there are a lot of organizations available like Select, and I'll tell you a little bit about them later. So first part is you train. You get your score out of 1600. Of course, you try to get as good a score as possible. The best part about these tests is that you can give these tests multiple times and it does not matter. That is not counted against you. Also, your best score is considered. Let's say you gave 2 attempts. In the first attempt, your math score was great. In the second attempt, your English score was great. I mean, better. You can send those 2 scores to the universities. So you see, they take the best scores possible from all the scores that you have gotten so far. So that way, it is like my best foot forward. Then, of course, your marks are also get better. And in SAT, it is that if you score about 1250, every score about 1250 makes you eligible for scholarships, right? Makes you more and more available for scholarships. So the more you score, the more scholarships you get, the more you save your parents money. And trust me, it is a lot, right? It's a lot of scholarship that you can get. I have had students who have gotten 80%, 90% scholarships, and they've just done well throughout the 4 years. Yeah. In fact, one of the students, after he went there and because he performed well, he got 100% scholarship. So his last 2 years, he's not paying a single penny to the university because he did really well in his exams. So, of course, I'm going to talk about all the money aspect of it. So, what you first do is you get yourself trained, okay, by October. Then you start selecting the universities. Now, that is a part which has to be done in the most systematic and organized way. Yes. Okay. How about we take the questions in 15 minutes so that I can finish telling you all everything about it, and I will look at all these questions which you all have sent on the chat. Okay, so that I can just finish off with what I have to say, and then we can have your questions. Yeah. Now, next slide, please. I'll quickly tell the process. Next. So you get your universities selected during the time of October to December. You apply for December because most of the time, yeah. So what we are saying is you apply in December. Then you have to send all your documents by then. So by January you are done. By December you are done. You are ready to give your 12th standard exams. So till March no one will disturb you. The replies start coming in April and May. So you know which all colleges have admitted you, which have not admitted you. So you know where you are going. Okay. If you like that college, if that college is giving you scholarship, you can consider it. Still keep that acceptance as it is where it has come from. Right? June में आपके 12th standard के results आएंगे. आपके IIT JEE भी पता चलेगा. Correct? If you have cleared your IIT, go in IIT, no problem. Right? Very clear. Give your IIT, you're cleared, go ahead. No issues, forget about that. But if you don't, if you unfortunately come in the 95%, open up that cupboard, get out those admits. Now decide which international university, which high grading university now you want to be a part of, right? If you have 2 or 3 admits, that means you get to choose. You get to decide where you want to go, what kind of course you want to do. Choose that, apply for the visa, okay? Go for a visa interview in July, and fly off in August, right? So you don't have to wait here and finish your graduation in a college you didn't want to, but you go ahead and study in the college of your choice. Okay, that would be an international college. So now I'm going to tell the process in detail, and then I'm going to take questions. Ma'am, the next slide, please. Yes, the excuses we give are, I can't afford, I don't have time, I don't know how to go about it. Parents tell me she's so young, ma'am, she won't be able to manage. I have a parent who has said that to me right here. But let me tell you, it is extremely manageable. The afford part, I'm going to talk about the money aspect of it, especially for the parents. Time, they do have time. I told you, I just need 2 hours from their studies, and in 11th grade they do have time for that. Even in 12th grade, if they just focus for a few hours every day, they will be able to still crack the exam, because end of the day it's maths and English, maths which they are doing for their other exams, and English, that's something that they have been doing all their life, right? Yes, yes. All the sites I will tell you about. The best part in the US and UK is that even for medicine, you still have to go for a pre-medicine course, okay, which is similar to the biology course. If you tell your career counselor about it in the US, and of course you apply for the pre-medical, so you do a bachelor's in biology, and then they convert it into a pre-medicine, and then they tell you how you're supposed to go about it. So medicine ke liye bhi same. You go for a basic bachelor's itself. You have to tell them that I want to do it as a pre-medicine. Okay. I don't know how to go about it right here. Yes, Ishita, you will. And too young, I think this is the best time, because these are the times their beliefs and their ideas are going to be formed. So, don't you think it is better that they have an open-minded belief rather than something that, what they learn? And can't manage, they become excellent managers, especially for all the mothers of all the boys. I think this is the best time to send them over there. They learn to make their own food, to wash their own clothes, to manage everything, something that you are behind them all their lives. Okay. uh, Namrata will agree that it is better that they actually learn to organize their lives right from there. I've seen these students save so much of money. I had a student who had come up for a video call with our other students who are going this year. So he was actually telling them, you know what, don't worry about it. I'll tell you, here, if you go into the Indian store, you save $5. And if you cook food and if you get these things, now get this from India. So you will spare $10. So they already start thinking, and I was so surprised and happily surprised that this is a guy who was just doing his bachelor's third year, but he was talking like a pro that, okay, this is how you have to save money. This is what you have to do. He had a complete plan for the kids. He had actually taken down notes, and he had it ready with him कि तुमको मैं बताऊंगा कि आओगे तुम यहाँ पे तो तुमको क्या क्या करना है क्या क्या नहीं करना है. So they learn a lot. They learn life. Something that we want to teach them all our lives. They learn it within those 4 years, and it's really good for them. The change that you will see in their personalities will be beyond your expectations. Can we go ahead? So no, they are not too young. They are the right age. They are the right age to mold themselves in that kind of personalities, I think. Yeah. Because after bachelor's, of course, you can go for masters, but after masters, you are set in your ways. Like, it is a little bit challenging to change the way you think, the way you perceive. But these kids not. And also, what happens when you go at that age, you don't just go for Indian friends. You will also learn from friends from other communities, because there's a bigger group, right? So the exposure is much more, and some of the qualities are different. Like, for example, all of the other Westerners, they don't get help from their parents. They have to work for their bachelors. Your parents are going to pay for them, right? Those kids don't get their parents to pay for themselves for them. They work. So that is an excellent way where our kids learn that you have to take your own responsibility. You have to earn for yourself, right? And I think that is something that we would never be able to teach our parents, because we always want to our children, because we always want to protect them. We always want to make sure that their life is better, right? Because we didn't get that kind of life. But वहां पे जाके हाँ मैम आगे ले सकते हैं आप. Those points can be here. So I think they really become very responsible when they are there. Okay. Yeah. So of course, select, and we all will be guiding you, and all this I have covered. So let's go ahead so that we can talk about the money aspect. I'm sure many parents have questions with respect to that. So can we just go to the next? Yes. Now, this is a generic table that I have created. Of course, US has the highest quantity of fees. The reason being world class, and the places that they are there. Having said that, it is similar to how a college or living in Pune and living in Mumbai, would have different kind of budget zones, right? Because Mumbai would be more expensive than Pune. Similarly, in the US also you have areas. So there is Texas, which is much cheaper. California is also a little bit expensive. New York is expensive, but no, not so much New York, Chicago, Boston, right? Depending on the place that you go, of course, the living expenses would matter, right? Would change. Okay. In UK, masters is for 1 year, 10 to 15 lakhs. Bachelor's is for 4 years as usual, and however, the fee is not so much for the bachelor's part. Ireland is much cheaper. Okay, so Ireland,
Sorry to interrupt you.
yeah,
UK, in that the bachelor is 3 years.
sorry, 3 years, correct. And so you can see the fee structure. Italy, Germany is free, but you have to
They're very high
have
profile.
yeah, you have to have a really good profile, some projects and something, so that you can be a part of it. Now I know you see some places where you say okay with backlogs and up to 60%. Students, I don't want you to think that, oh, then I can have backlogs, I will still get. The thing is, many times students have questions that what if I have a couple of backlogs, especially now this is for the master's part where they have this thing. You guys should not have a problem. Up to 60%, remember, your score can be up to 60%. What they require is consistent score since 8th standard. All right. And not that they need you to have 90% throughout. If you are a 60% person, 60% throughout. Okay. If there are a lot of dips and ebbs and say, then they ask you that what is the reason for it. Otherwise, if you have a generic, a consistent 60-70% score from 8th standard to 12th standard, they're good with that. Okay. So the first thing is the fees. Okay. Second thing, you get a lot of scholarship. The best part about sending students at the bachelor's level is that you can get up from up like what 30% to almost 80% scholarship, only depending on your score and your SAT score, right? And your extracurricular activities. Come again?
Profile, your profile.
Yes, your profile. So, like I said, the student whom I sent, he was a taekwondo player. And by the way, his story is very interesting. He had studied for IIT. He was depressed when he didn't get through to JEE. So depressed, his parents were worried कि अभी इसको कैसे इससे बाहर निकाले. And once they came to our seminar and they came to talk to us and they were like, "Ma'am, please tell him something because he's not ready to take admission in any college and anything." We told him about this. We told him, let's study. Let's see if you can do this. Come on, take this as your aim, next aim, and let's see if you can do that. He said, okay. He started studying. He went to the college and everything. He did so well, kids. I think he got 15, 40?
Yes.
1540 is the score that he received in SAT. And he was a taekwondo player. So you see, he was depressed where he was like, "Meko kuch nahi karna hai life mein." Whereas within, I think, 6 months of the training that he gave his exam, he had scored 1540. And he was such a brilliant boy. He would read news articles from the US and he would tell us, "Ma'am, you do know US mein abhi kya ho raha hai?" So he was that enthusiastic of a person. And he got, I think when he went, he got 80% scholarship. And he was the one I was talking about, that he scored so well in his second year because they give you scholarships, okay, parents. So they might even give you just 60% scholarship when you go. However, they review those scholarships every year. So if your child has scored well in his curriculum, he's done really well with whatever are their criteria, they will increase the scholarship. So they will make it 80%. They will even make it 100% if they feel that this child is really doing well. So of course you are initially paying, but know that your child's performance can actually save you money for all those 4 years. Okay. Plus there are internships available, right? Which the children can do and they must do, so that A, they get a lot of experience in the same field that they are doing. Okay. B, they earn money so that they can pay their own tuition fees. And C, there is a good chance that if they have done well in that particular place where they did their internship, after their bachelor's, they might be offered a job right away, right? Because it is in India that we have to do a master's or something. But in the US, doing a bachelor's will get you a job, right? So they can immediately get placed because they have done those internships and been visible to their future employers. Even if they don't, once they go with this kind of experience, the companies are more than happy to hire them because though they are freshers, they do have some sort of experience. So there are internships through which the children can earn. Of course, you can take a loan and eventually repay it. But there are a lot of options which are available for the students, and the scholarships are the biggest thing. Trust me, technically speaking, you will have to only pay for maybe the first 2 years. The third and the fourth year, the child understands how to get those scholarships. How there are other scholarships available for girls, for students, that particular subject. They figure it out by the first 2 years. The third, fourth year, आपको इतना pay नहीं करना पड़ेगा. Okay, so even though this looks like a huge amount, please understand that the first 2 years you might have to pay. Third, fourth will hardly be 50, 40, 30% of the initial fees. Okay, it is all a very flexible thing. It's all a very changeable thing. And you might say, oh, but that means that my child will be pressurized to perform. No, your child will do it on his or her own, and that will be a bonus for him or her. Okay. If your children are more dynamic, they can also do jobs over there. You get on-campus jobs. It could be something as simple as teaching the younger students, right? Or there are jobs in the libraries, in the bookstores, in the cafeteria, and it is something that everyone does. Like I told you, these American kids, they don't get any kind of pocket money. Their parents don't support them, so they are working. So our kids don't feel any shame in going and working ahead over there. Okay.
They
So
have a 38 credit hours, ma'am, right?
yes.
Wow.
So
Yes.
yeah, yes, yes, yes. There are extracurricular activities are considered, and that is going to be my next point. So the finances, parents, you can take care of it. You can have a plan. I know you love doing everything possible for your child. So yes, there will be a plan, but know that your child will also be able to help you if you help him study or her study, and if they score well, and if so far they have been having a good profile, they will save a lot of money for you. And please do that. So the only thing you need to do for them, other than of course paying for it, is helping them study, because the more score they get, that much scholarship they're going to get. Right? Literally 100 marks will save you 10 lakhs almost. So work according to that. If you really want to do that, give your children that environment so that अभी पढ़ ले, ताकि maximum scholarship अभी मिले, तो आपको वहां पे जाके प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, because 4 years के लिए वो scholarship तो मिलने वाला है, right? If they have told you 60% scholarship, you are getting 60% scholarship for all 4 years. It may increase, it's never going to decrease or stop. That's not going to happen. Okay. So that is the best option for you kids. Of course, I know that parents don't like talking about their children working, but I'm telling you that these are the options available, which they will eventually take. So you need to prepare yourself that they are going to be working more than them being prepared to work. But that is going to be a case. And I think it would be a proud moment that your child has already started earning at that age, when very few children can do that, right? And not because there is a need, but there is a want. And I think there's a huge difference between that. That I want to be independent and I need to be independent. So I would like my child to want to do that and not need to do that. But so I know that. So I don't talk a lot about the jobs usually, because the parents are like, nahi karna hai bacche ko. But these options are going to be available. Okay. Next, please, slide. Okay, so now let's talk about the process, okay, because I can see that there are a lot of questions which are associated with how and where and everything. So let us get back to that.
It is taking some time to change the slide.
Yeah, I figured that out. Yes, okay, so let me just tell you about the thing, okay. So the first thing is, no, Sunil sir, you can't approach them right now. Once your student has taken admission in the college, then they are assigned a counselor who will tell them about the prospects of their career, right? You would at least need to know the field that you want to work in, and choose a course. Of course, if after that you talk to the counselor, they tell you that maybe you want to change your course, you want to do something, they will be available for you to help you then. Okay. So yeah, so these are the things: tuition waivers, scholarships, campus jobs, summer jobs are also available, loans, and personal savings is of course your option, right? So if you have any questions about this, please make a note of it. Okay, so whether it's UK or any other country, like I told you, there is no cutoff marks for 10th and 12th. You need consistent scores. Okay, of course, good scores are better, right? It's not that you're not going to get better. So but
Sorry,
there's no
I'm
cutoff.
interrupting you. For UK, for medical field, for 10 and 10 plus 12th, you should get 85%. You should get, and for a NEET, you should get a good score, and then you are qualifying for a medical field in UK. Yes,
Thank you.
Ayan.
Okay, so next one, please. We are running short of time, so I think we need to go through the process. Okay. Okay. So the first part is the training part. Now, in the training part, if you go to an organization like Select, they'll first give you a diagnostic test, and that test is of utmost importance because what happens is it tells you, let's say, out of 1600, you score 1000. It tells you what is your zero, right? Where you are at this point. Also, then it tells us that where do you need to reach. So you tell us that, ma'am, my goal is 1500. I go 1500 chahiye. Okay. Then you know how long you need to do the training, how much efforts you need to take, how much time is realistically required. Okay. And that way the trainers can also motivate you to achieve your score and you can motivate yourself that, okay, 1500 chahiye, right now I'm at 1000. What all do I need to do for it? Right. So giving a diagnostic test gives you an idea about where you stand and then you know what you want to achieve and how to achieve that. Okay. So first comes the diagnostic test, then you do the training. There are you solve a lot of tests, you get trainings, there are mock tests before the test, and the good part is this test happens quite a number of times. uh, okay, you know what, let's take the questions in 5 minutes. I'll just finish this and then I'll also open the forum where Namrata ma'am can also answer the questions with us. Okay, so Onni Krishnan, just give me 5 minutes. Yes, so the scholarship will be earned on the basis, the scholarship will be consistent. If you score more, you will get more scholarship. Shravani. Okay? Yes, so it is dependent on your score and performance there in the US, in your list. Yeah, and when you get scholarship, it's for all the rest years, all the 4 years. Okay. So, yeah. So you do your trainings, okay? The exams are held. Namrata ma'am, can you tell me about the times when the exam is held? The SAT exam in the year?
4 times in a year.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I think now is in August, right?
Right, August and then October and December.
Yeah. Yeah. So May, August, October, and December are the tests. Is the time when the test is held. Okay. So of course, 4 months before that, the admissions are open so that you can choose the place where you want to give the exam in your city, and accordingly you go through. Okay. Once you have gotten your score, okay, then comes the university selection part. Like I said, it's the most important part. So I know how Select works. So what they do is they first study your profile. They ask you questions. Okay. So what should be done is based on your qualifications. Okay. Your budget, because that is important. End of the day, you're going to be spending. So you need to know how much you want to spend. If there is a particular state or country, then of course you tell that as well. You must do that. It's okay if you research and you tell them, or you leave it to them and you say, "Aap sab kar lo, hame bas achhi university chahiye." It all depends. The subject that you want to go into, right? Your basic subject your child needs to know, and what all extracurricular activities and co-curricular activities the child has done. On the basis of that, the university gets selected. So what do you mean by those co-curricular activities? It could be anything, any sports that the child has played since 8th standard, any activity like art, drawing, creative arts, dancing, musical instruments. I know one student, he got the scholarship because he played really well. He played tabla really well, and they wanted him to be a part of their musical organization. So the university gave him scholarship so that he could come. So it could be any of your artistic creativities, or it could be that you worked with an NGO, or Rotary Club and stuff like that, or you did these clean India movements, whatever you have been a part of, okay, or maybe smaller organizations. I think there are people who love pets and they go and feed the street dogs and everything, whatever it can be, okay. All these activities count, and not necessarily that there needs to be a certificate. They do trust you, so if you tell them that this is what I have done, they will definitely consider it and give and that will be a part of your profile. So any which ways, when we are selecting the university, we look at your requirements. Okay, your requirements need to be met. That what is your probable score, what is your academic score at this point, which country you want to go to, which subject you want to go to. Then the universities are selected. Most of the times it should be such that you need to select at least 2 to 3 universities which are the easy universities. That, let's say you have scored 1450, the universities which give admission at 1350, you at least choose 2 to 3 universities which are called as easy universities. Then medium universities which do give a admission at, let's say, 1450, 1500, and then you choose at least 2 hard universities, okay, which where actually with this score it is a little bit challenging, maybe it's their lower score. However, there is a possibility that this year they have more scholarships, they have more places, and they do give you an admit. Yeah. Uh, is there any other noise that you can hear
No.
from my end? Okay. So if that is the case, you do that too. Okay. So based on these as okay, I just lost track. Yeah. So you choose these universities, these type of universities. So you can apply to 7 to 8 universities, and so that you make sure that you at least get 2 to 3 admits out of them, right? Uh, yeah, okay. So and then you apply. Okay, so you you select the universities, you send them the applications. For the applications, there are what all is required. First of all, your academic scores from 8th standard to 12th standard, your SAT scores. Then you need to send if you have any certificates with respect to the curricular extracurricular activities. Then the most important documents, SOP, that is statement of purpose, and LOR, that is letter of recommendation. Okay, so the SOP is a letter which is telling the college that why is it that you would like to apply to their particular course, and you would like to go to their university. Okay, so your ambition basically. And the letter of recommendations are 3 letters which are written by your teachers, your 10th and 12th standard teachers, telling them what kind of a student you are. So these documents are very important. I think Select writes these documents for you, helps you write them so that there is no discrepancy, there is no problems over there, and they are the best letters possible. So you need to send these letters as well. Once you have sent all these documents to the university within their deadlines, okay, they will send you the accepts. Okay, so you will understand, like I said, by May, what universities you have been selected through. In the meanwhile, you also for the parents, the financial part is important. So Namrata ma'am also gives you a list of the financial documents that you need to prepare, because you need to know what all needs to be submitted. So if you have an idea beforehand, it is easier for you to collect all of that, keep it ready by the time the accepts come. So in May, we don't start the work, we start the work in January. So you get your finances in place, whatever bank documents you need, whatever that you're going to be applying, you keep it ready so that when the acceptance comes, you know what amount it is that you have to show. You need to show that particular amount in your bank account, maybe as a loan or whatever means that you're doing for that. And once you have done that, once you get the acceptance, you then decide which college you want to go for. You then apply for the visa, you accept it, and so again, you have to prepare for the visa. You have to prepare for the visa, and you have to make sure that you don't give any answers during the visa interview which will cause you trouble. So you make sure that you have mock visa interviews Namrata ma'am is an expert at that. And once you have done that, once you've gotten your visa, you are ready to fly in August. Okay, so that's the process of it. I think now we'll open up questions. Yeah, 1 second. Namrata ma'am, if you want to add something for the process, please do. She's
Yeah.
more of an expert with the process, so yeah.
Yeah, thank you, Madhura. I'm sure all students understood the process of study abroad. I would like to add little bit that our organization like Select provide training and counseling both. If you or your parents have any queries, doubt, or analyze your profile, you can contact us. I will be sharing my contact details to your teacher. And thank you, City Pride School, for giving us opportunity to interact with your enthusiastic and energetic students. Thank you so much. So let's start with question and answers, right? Yes, we are helping to building your profile and making a profile.
I think
Sir?
Madhura ma'am. I think Madhura ma'am has read most of the questions put up in the chat.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe few were
Okay.
left where
Hmm.
you want me to just read out, or you can just go
Yeah,
ahead
yeah.
checking the chat also. And maybe parents, you can students, you can raise your hand, and maybe you can take your turn to just check with the questions what you have.
Okay.
Shamini,
So,
Shamini, yes, we can helping to building your profile and making a profile. I have to check your profile and I have to analyze your profile, and then I will tell you how we can build your profile and all.
Ma'am, this
Okay,
is
Shamini?
Jayesh.
yes, Jayesh.
Yeah.
Yes.
You mentioned about the exam of 1600 marks. You also mentioned there is English and maths paper. So what is the breakup of that 1600 marks? How many papers?
800, 800. 800, 800.
And there is a no negative mark system. It's offline basically in this year. From next year, it will be online and it's an adaptive test.
And it's
It is
also.
Is it MCQ?
Yes, all MCQs. All MCQs.
Okay.
Advaita, you'll get the contact details from Veena ma'am or Amrapali ma'am, and then you can go join Select. And Namrata ma'am also does a one-on-one session. The first session, which is of course free, where she just again gives you any personalized information that you require or answers all your other queries. So you can definitely call her and take appointment so that she can ask. Yes, yes. Many people have raised their hand. 2x.
Sanvi.
Yes. Yes, Sanvi.
Yes, Sanvi.
What is your?
Unmute yourself.
Yes, ma'am. My first question is that if we are to go out of India for our bachelor's, should we join the Ivy League or Ivy League schools, or go for smaller schools and then go for bigger schools for masters?
I think you should go for the smaller schools first. The reason being, in Ivy colleges, it's all about the research that they are doing because they want to get that excellence and there. So there many times it happens that the alumni and the master students are the ones who will train the younger students. Will like take some sessions for them. So it is not bad to go for the Ivy League. Of course, you can aim for it, but I really think that more concentration would be given to you on the second year, the other than Ivy League colleges. And trust me that, see, in India, it is there ki IIT is like at 100 and then you have COEP. But other than that, like Babasaheb Mose is at 2, right? But in US, it's not like that. The university which is at 10 and the university which is at 20, there's not a lot of difference in the quality of education that is given to you or the facilities which are given to you. Those rankings probably are based on the number of students admitted, the available kind of research that is happening. So it really depends on that. So I would suggest, because this is what my experience has been and what we have been speaking with the universities, that in Ivy League, the bachelor kids are not given that much of attention. So better to go there for your masters or your PhD.
Yes, ma'am. I also had one more question. How do we get 80 to 90% scholarship for US and UK? Is it really possible that way?
Yeah, I've given it. I'm telling you, you have to score around 1500 in SAT, and your academic score needs to be like above 80.
80.
Above 80 and
certifications.
A few certificates.
Related your score, NGO, and your sports.
Kuch bhi, whatever.
Yes,
Like,
ma'am.
do you are you interested in something?
Right.
But these guys, they are in City Pride. They have this cultural thing right from what 5th standard. They are doing this, so they do all these fashion shows and all
So
also. They
इनको
do.
मिलना ही है
इन लोग को, हाँ, हम लोग को तो
scholarship.
मिलना ही है, उसका कुछ नहीं है.
They have already
Yes,
built their
ma'am. Thank
profile
you.
in standard 9.
They've already built their profile. Ivy League is like the IIT of US. That is, they are those top tier.
Okay,
And
on
they have
behalf,
a very high budget also.
on behalf of the students, maybe if I just try asking one question over here, like
Sure, sure.
how can they go about for that early action of what we say, taking decision and getting their offer letters prior in standard 12 with their predicted mark sheet? Because maybe, I'm just aware of few things there. Maybe they have to apply for scholarships earlier. Like most of the government scholarship in US or in any other country, maybe by mid-October or September, it is closed.
Yes.
So,
See, early action is okay, but sometimes what happens is when you take early action, the college is kind of like what you can say, reserved you, right? So in case you get a better college, you can't say yes to them. The only concern sometimes that happens is in case there is a better college who's
If your
applying you.
profile is very good, na, so
हाँ.
that concern may arise.
So with a good profile, I will say no. But if you say, let's say there's no bad profile as such. Let's say there's an average profile where the student has some average scores and doesn't have a lot of extracurriculars. In that case, the student should definitely do that.
Yes.
Okay.
Definitely go for the early.
with their predicted mark sheets or
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
before
It's
the
allowed.
standard 12. Okay.
Yes. Ojasvi, you have a question. Ojasvi and Anusha and Jayesh.
But our
Yes.
select
Yes,
is in Curvey Road.
Yeah,
Maybe-
it's in.
Maybe if you could share your card, ma'am, we can share it with or your
You can, if you could just put
pamphlet
it on the
or
slide.
if
Yeah,
you could
yeah.
share with us, then we can forward it to the parents.
Namrata, just make us. Do you have something? Just share it with me.
Yes, I have a pamphlet.
You
I'll
can
share
put it on the chat.
Yes,
In the
yes.
chat also you can share right now.
Yes,
So-
Ojasvi, what was your question?
Yes, ma'am. I wanted to ask whether there are educational opportunities in Japan and what are we supposed to do if we want to apply for universities there?
Yes, there are educational opportunities available in Japan. I think medicine and what are the
Engineering.
courses? Engineering are good courses, I think.
But,
But however, language you will have to learn the Japanese because all the courses are in
actually, I'm
Japanese.
working on that. So
Okay.
just like I wanted to ask whether there are university options there.
Frankly speaking, what's her name?
Ojasvi.
Ojaswini. It's not safe for 10 to 12 students because
Don't go. See, if
they
you're
are
going to take
better.
an and if you're going for an international experience, please consider EU,
Yes,
UK, and US. For bachelors, I will not ask you to go to the smaller
other
countries.
For master, you
but
can go
yeah.
anywhere.
See, the reason being safety, also the kind of environment. We don't want you to go to these countries right now. Russia, I will not say for bachelors.
Yes.
Masters ke liye jao, but go to the safer and better countries. No, see, in these countries, US, UK, Germany, Canada, there are a lot of Indians. There's a lot of, they are all acclimatized to having us around. So it's more friendly. It's more warmer over there in respect to the people's attitude towards us, right?
Yes.
Whereas certain states or certain countries are very rigid with their culture. So they don't share. They don't make it easy for you. So at bachelors, we don't want you to go there. When you are when you are a little bit older, you can deal with all of that, right? Not getting your kind of food, not getting that kind of people to communicate with. As you are older, you grow older, you are okay with that. But as a kid in bachelors, you want to interact. So go in an environment which will be conducive for you.
Yes.
Yes. Anusha, you had a question?
Yeah, hi. This is Anusha's father's here. So,
Yes, please.
thank you so much for the valuable information you shared. It was very helpful.
You're welcome.
I would just like to ask you, whether you have, some kind of some information wherein, we have the names of the universities, the states, and what they specialize in, so that we also can do our due diligence probably this 3 months and, come to you probably for better, for information, isn't it? So you have
Yes.
something of that sort wherein, like Texas or so engineering, these are the colleges. So we go on the website, check it out, and then probably come with you with, we zero in on the university, and then we come to you.
Right. So even for that, what you can do is first have a talk with Namrata ma'am. The reason being, I'll tell you what. See, because if you go to the US, there are good universities for every course, right? So I could give you a list which would be a very exhaustive list because it will have everything, correct? So if you tell your field to her, maybe
Okay.
2-3 fields that ma'am engineering है, उसमें हमको chemical भी देखना है, automobile भी देखना है, let's say, and IT भी देखना है. Then she will be able to give you a better idea. Okay, sir, look at these, and you can do your research. Because if you see US and UK, they are the forerunners. They have every course which is really good. Then there are other factors which come in on the basis of which I can give you a list of universities. So a good idea for you would be to talk to her, tell her the field you are working for, then she can give you a list.
Fair enough. Thank you so
Make
much.
sense? Yeah.
Thank you.
Great, no problem. Next was Jayesh.
We'll go ahead with another 2-3, Shravani, Parag, and Hemant Desai. So we can go ahead with it, right? We are already exceeding the time. Actually.
I know.
So we'll go
मेरा
ahead.
हमेशा का problem है.
No.
No, as I said earlier
It's
also,
important actually.
it is most awaited webinar, because I was working down as soft skill teacher and all the questions were coming to me. I would do the research and come back and give it to them. So it's going to happen.
Yeah. Please go ahead. And it's the most interesting part of answering questions because then you know that your audience has also heard you.
Yes, Shravani, you can go ahead.
Hi, I'm Sharuni's father. A couple of things I wanted to highlight upon is like in your presentation, there has been more focus on UK, US and all that. Wanted to understand like there are other countries also, as a matter of fact, we can say as a tier 2 countries or something of that sort, apart from US and UK, like Germany has not been touch based upon, then Singapore has not been touch based upon. Because Germany, we do feel that, and one question pertaining to Germany is that, is there any language compulsion or English is okay? Number 2 is Singapore, where are we? And what are the colleges or the countries for business management? And the last question is, in one of your slides, you have mentioned about good and bad colleges. Is that differentiation made based on the scholarship they offer or the courses they offer, or is it country specific? So these are some of the questions.
Sure. Okay, so I think we'll go one by one.
This is my last chance. As a reason I put in as many questions as possible.
No problem. Okay, so the good and bad was, I think, with respect to India, not as such as abroad. What we meant was that instead of going for tier 2 or tier 3 colleges in India, it would be a better choice for you to go abroad. Outside, I don't think there are bad colleges as such, but like what we do is, as a rule, I feel that you should go only for the top 100 colleges. Okay, and it is not that list which you type on Google and say top 100 colleges in US. It's not that list. Okay, there's a different list because that list is subject specific and it's a different one. In fact, none of the lists which you would find online are actually the culminative lists. It is counselors like ma'am who know that those lists better. So they will never send you to a college which is 200th college in the US. Okay. Another criteria of colleges in the any of the countries abroad is private and public. So the private colleges are a little bit more expensive, whereas the public colleges, which are the government colleges or the state colleges, are a little bit cheaper. The quality of education is same. There is no difference. It's all about the money aspect. This was about the colleges. Now talking about Germany, why we usually keep US, UK and not talk about other countries is because there is a lot of generic information which we can give. When it comes to these countries, we have to be a little bit more specific, right?
Exactly.
So
For Germany also, you should know the German language at least A2 level. And for bachelors, it requires very high profile, and it's very difficult to Indian students to get the admission to that public universities for bachelors. So what we will suggest to students, you can do your bachelor's in US, and then after that you can do your master's in other European countries or whatever you want to that particular country, means Germany, Canada and all. And for business management, the Canada is the best option for masters.
For masters or
Yeah.
even UK, na, for that matter.
Yeah, for UK also.
Yeah. So business management, so again, all these top, even the European countries are great. That is not a problem at all. That would really depend on the kind of course you're looking for. For example, supply chain management is good in Germany, but PR marketing is even good in France and Italy. And the UK ones are proper. Yeah, UK are finance and project management. So there, then it will become it will depend on the specificity of your course. Then we would suggest you those countries that okay, go to this country for this specific course. Also, when you're doing management studies, it would be a good idea that the child has some sort of experience. The reason being that it's not that it's a requirement everywhere, but what I have seen through the students, that if they have some sort of experience, they have a better idea about how things are working in the business, and then they are studying this. Many of my students and my friends also who have done the masters in business management outside, they have said that, you know, there are businessmen who have done their own businesses for 10 years, 12 years, and after that they have come for a master's because they know what their business is. Now they want to grow it, and hence they want the added knowledge. So you are competing with someone who's 40, right? So you need to have some experience when you are talking about anything with that person. I'm not saying that the child cannot do any bachelor business management. Bachelor's course, great, but for the masters, you should go with some experience. I hope it answers your questions. Any question left?
Hemant Desai, it's a parent, I guess.
Yes.
Sir, you
Yes,
can.
yes. Miss, could you repeat again how many times we can attempt the SAT exam?
As many times as you want.
Yes.
Okay. And is it like first attempt? It's we have scored good in maths, and second we have scored in English, so both will be considered.
Yes.
Yes.
I guess
Best
you had
course.
told earlier also that both any attempt is it will be
Your
considered.
best score will be sent. They are very happy with
Flexible.
you, like flexible with you. That Mahi.
Mahi. Last question we'll take for Mahi.
Yeah, this is Mahi's father. I have two questions. First is like the way we have, we can take more subject in masters, right? Do we have that options in the bachelor as well, so that we can complete our courses as early as possible?
Yes,
Yes,
definitely. That credit score system is always there.
Okay, thank you. And the second question is, how do you compare a person doing an engineering from Pune COEP and a person doing a similar, a comparable education from Canada or US? How do you compare the knowledge of a person when we sit both together and compare the knowledge?
I always meet a COEP parent at least once, and I enjoy having these talks with them.
So
Okay.
you said like India is better. What I'm hearing.
Well, so see, I think it's more about the personality, right? I think
your voice is echoing. You have to just put off your mobile or something where, or you have joined through two different devices.
No, I haven't.
Okay.
I think my phone was really close, so it was. Okay. Well, I do agree that COEP, I think, does create amazing engineers and they have personalities. So I would not deny that. Having said that, sir, the thing is that end of the day, as I was saying earlier, that when you are in a country like the US or the UK or any of these countries, the kind of exposure you have is very different. There are their alumni who are coming and teaching them. I think something that also might be happening in COEP. But of course, these are, you know, renowned businessmen or engineers or experts in their field who come and discuss it with these guys. So what I feel is that A, the exposure that they get, B, also the working that these students, they work with different students coming from different nationalities. So I think that amalgamation that happens. So I think that a guy from Texas who has done his engineering would definitely be very good at a discussion with a COEP guy and maybe have a little bit more international knowledge, perhaps.
Yeah, and
Namrata, if you want to add.
Flexibility.
Oh yeah.
Flexibility
Oh yeah.
both. Yeah. Yes. You can complete your bachelor's in 3.5 years in US, and in COEP you have to complete your bachelor's in 4 years, right? And the fourth D is a flexibility of the courses. You have to choose the courses after you can apply for first year bachelor program. Let's say suppose for computer. Hello?
Keep the other doors.
Yeah. Yeah, just one thing on the similar lines. So same line, like COEP engineer is applying for MIT and a normal person from Canada is applying for MIT. How the knowledge and the selection process goes for that?
MIT as in Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. Yeah, just an example I'm giving.
Sir, frankly, for the US universities, anything other than IIT is the same university, if I'm not wrong. Right? Namrata, if I'm not wrong?
Yes.
For them,
Yes.
IIT is known, but other than that, all the universities are at the same level, unfortunately. Though we know that COEP has a quality. The thing is, for them, it's not, it's the same with as I would say MIT from Pune. For a Massachusetts, when they are considering a guy for their master's program, they would be putting up the same parameters. They would look at the GRE score, they would look at their bachelor's scores and just compare it with the GPA that is there, and they would look at the profile. Okay. Having said that, if they know the Canadian university, that might be one point in their heads, but of course that would not be a selection criteria. The selection criteria would still be these four things: your GRE score, your academic score, your curricular activities, extracurricular
And
activities,
work experience.
and your work experience. Yeah, I was coming to that, and your SOP LOR. And in that case, in this factor, which was the extracurricular and co-curricular activities, there is a possibility that the Canada person might have done projects or work experiences, which might be, I don't know if they are superior or not. They could be differing from a COEP guy. That is the only difference that would be. So,
Yep.
just
Okay.
because
Thank you.
you're coming from India, you would not get 1 point less from the guy from Canada. You both would be treated on the same parameters. Yep. Mahi, you have one more question? Or we are done? So.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
Can you share the that pamphlet?
I've
I'll
just
send you on WhatsApp.
wait. I'll share. I want to just say that. Okay. Okay. So I would just like to say that it has been great talking with you all, and it is very nice to know that you all have some information about things and you're enthusiastic to know. Yep. And I've tried to cover things because of always there is a time constraint and there are so many things that we want to say. And however, that's why we will be sharing the contact details, and you are more than welcome to ask us questions. We are more than happy to answer them because, of course, I mean, there is the whole organization part, but having changed my careers and finally found my passion, I really want that all you kids should be following your passion and doing something that you enjoy and get all the peace and happiness that you want from your future. So any help and any assistance that we can be of would be completely pleasure on our part. If that could help you get your dream career, that is all that we are looking for, and that's how we got into this field. That though I decided with the training, what I loved about the counseling was that I get a chance to help someone get through their career, and that is what motivates us always to come and meet you people. So thank you so much, and please do get connected. There is another question that has just turned up. Bachelor's in USA, Canada, minimum cost. Madam, if you want to answer. Namrata.
Around 20 lakh per year. If you get the scholarships, it will be then decrease the amount, lesser the amount.
It depends on the university or college we are picking up in Canada, I believe, right?
Yeah, but
yes.
10
The
10 to 15.
universities are basically on 3 factors. First is your academic, second is your budget, and third is your curriculum activities. On this basis, we have to choose the top 100 universities around. Among them, we have to select 7 to 8 universities.
One last question, as a teacher.
Yes.
If you could just tell them, like, for is it IELTS they have to prepare, or SAT, or for which countries or whatever, because they still are exploring. So if I have to talk about Germany, is it TOEFL or IELTS? You know, maybe if you could just guide them, maybe with this last note.
Yes. Can I, Madhur ma'am? Or you?
Yeah, please. You will go ahead. Go ahead.
Yes, SAT is only applicable for USA and Canada, and TOEFL is also applicable for USA. IELTS is applicable for UK, Italy, Germany, Canada, and nowadays so many universities of USA also accept the IELTS score also. So you can
Ireland also.
Ireland also. So you can do IELTS as well instead of TOEFL.
So basically, other than US, UK, Canada, US and Canada, IELTS is sufficient.
Yes.
Yeah.
SAT is not required for Germany, UK, Ireland, Italy.
I'm sharing the flyer which Namrata ma'am has sent. So if you want, you can take a screenshot. It has her number. It also has the email ID and the website for Select. So that could help you. And you can connect whenever you want.
Yeah,
and
maybe I can share it if any parent needs it. It's absolutely fine.
Yes. And I think I would like to congratulate CPS for starting this kind of a forum for their students. I think this is an excellent idea to equip them with all the possible knowledge that they can have before they take these crucial decisions in their life. So I think great job, guys. As always, but great job.
Yes.
Okay.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Maybe they are going to come up with many questions later. We'll wait for this. Yes, they are going to check out in our soft skill sessions when we go back in the classes. But yes, we'll stay connected. If any child requires your support, maybe we'll stay connected for the same.
Sure. Definitely. All right. Thank you.
And thanks a lot.
Thank you, both the speakers.
Making this session a wonderful session again.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. The pleasure was ours.
Thank you, both of you, Madhura ma'am and Namrata ma'am. And thank you, dear parents, for attending the session and being a proactive parents and asking a lot of questions. And I hope your doubts are cleared with this session. So we'll be coming up with next session next month. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Bye.